What's up, everybody? Last night / today, we got the mid-season update for Season 1 of Vanguard Warzone Pacific, and with that came the new Welgun SMG, and from the little bit of testing I've been able to do, this thing is OP. It's probably going to be the new meta, both within Battle Royale and Vanguard Royale and our Rebirth Island. I think this thing can be ran as a normal SMG, as a Hipfire build, and a sniper support. We are going to get into all three of those builds. First, I want to go over the numbers. I got damage numbers. I got some damage numbers from JGOD's video, which I'll also have linked down below. I tested damage values for one ammo type and one barrel combination on my own, and then I just used math to estimate the others, and it should be within a few damage points at most, which really shouldn't change the time to kill. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the numbers real quick, and then I will get to the loadouts. If you want to skip the numbers, that's fine. It'll be a few minutes spent on numbers, and then we'll get right into loadouts. So let's go ahead and jump over to the spreadsheet that I created, which I will have linked down below, and we'll go ahead and show you those numbers. So here you can see a little key just over to the right. We have light blue are numbers I got from JGOD, and then my numbers. I did all the RPM testing myself. I did the math by hand and with a calculator. Took quite a while, but I did do the rounds per minute math, and then I used a time to kill calculator online to input the rounds per minute plus the damage and got TTKs, and then I averaged out the TTKs. So I got base ammo damage with no barrel from JGOD, and then he also had it with the 120mm short barrel. He had the 7.62 rounds, which is what you use on the MP40 in the meta build, with the 120mm short barrel, and he had it with the 45 caliber rounds with the 100mm short barrel. So from there, to get the rest of the damage values, I took the multipliers for each one of the damage values: head, chest, stomach, and limbs. So I divided 53 divided by 49, got what the approximately what the multiplier was for headshots. It was about the same when you did the sorry, I didn't have the 7.62. So I took that multiplier, I calculated the normal damage without a barrel for the 7.62, as well as the normal damage without the barrel for the 45 caliber, and I did that for each one of the damage values. The only ones I tested myself, because I tried what JGOD does, applaud even more to him than ever before, because that was extremely frustrating for me. It took me about 30 minutes just to get these values and one other value that ended up being the same as JGOD's. I just scrapped it and used JGOD's number. And so then I took the multiplier. I figured out the multiplier for each one of the damage values for the 45 caliber ammo between no barrel and the 300mm barrel. And then I applied those multipliers across the other weapons that didn't have it. From there, I found if you run just 9mm ammo, which also comes, I don't remember the max size, but I think it's like 65 or 68 rounds, which is, of course, the one you'd run over the normal 32. You can average, with the recoil booster, a TTK of around 500 milliseconds. 501 milliseconds. And then if you use the 7.62 rounds with the 320mm barrel, the base round is also with the 320mm barrel, you get a time to kill of about 498 milliseconds. If you look at the base ammo and the 7.62 ammo, you don't really get a difference between the no barrel and the 320 barrel, but it is faster than the 120mm barrel. Then when you go to the larger caliber ammo, there is no difference once again between no barrel and the 320 barrel, but you get a significantly faster time to kill of about 20 milliseconds when you use the 120mm barrel. And the fastest TTK overall ended up being for the larger caliber with the recoil booster and with the 120mm barrel. So there's a couple different ways you can build it. I would probably build it that way, or with the 7.62 with the 320mm barrel. In JGOD's video, he didn't test the 320mm barrel. And I'll get to the loads in just 1 second, and I'll kind of go over why I think that's the best barrel. Besides the fact that you see the fastest time to kill with the base ammo in the 7.62 actually was with the 320mm barrel. But if you switch to the larger ammo, I'd go with the 120mm barrel. But let's go and jump over to Warzone, and I'll analyze the loadouts a little bit more. Okay, so as I showed on the spreadsheet, if you're running it purely as an up-close SMG, you have to have the recoil booster. It makes a huge difference. The time to kill is wildly faster with the recoil booster. So then from there, kind of depends on the ammo you want to go with. The magazine if you go with the 48 round mag of the 45 caliber, where you get your fastest time to kill, it's only 5 milliseconds, so it's going to kind of depend on feel and preference between that and the 762 with the larger barrel. So it kind of depends. If you want to run with that ammo, I'll go ahead and build it out with this ammo first, and then I'll show you the 762 loadout. I would run hollow point because I refuse to run incendiary. I just can't do it. And you get a little more bullet velocity. Underbarrel, since we're running this purely as an SMG, I would either go with the skeletal grip for aim down sight speed or the strife angled for accuracy, aiming stability, walking steadiness. You do lose sprint to fire speed, but I'm going to go with the skeletal here because if you see, this 48 round mag reduces aim down sight speed, so I'm increasing that by going with the skeletal barrel, and I don't think the recoil is too bad, but if you think the recoil is bad, go with the hand stop. It doesn't hurt your aim down sight speed, helps give you recoil control. So I'd go either the skeletal or the hand stop. Rear grip, we're going to go with either do recoil control here with the rubber grip or the pine tar grip. It does hurt your ADS, so I'd probably go with the rubber grip just to save the ADS a little bit, or go, probably I'd go leather grip, or you can go the good old polymer. For the sake of it being up close SMG build, we're going to end up going with probably the fabric grip, actually. You get hipfire, you get aim down sight speed, you lose a little accuracy, but this is up close, so it doesn't matter. Slate reflectors, my preferred option, but that's always up to you. Stocks are a little difficult. You get her initial fire and recoil with the skeletal. With the pack stock, you lose hipfire accuracy and movement speed, but you get horizontal recoil control, which is a big problem with Vanguard guns, and you help ADS. With the S custom, you lose accuracy and recoil control. You do get hipfire accuracy and movement speed. With the folding, you get hipfire accuracy, walking movement speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, but you lose flinch resistance, recoil recovery, and recoil during sustained fire. And with remove stock, you get movement speed, sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed, but you lose flinch resistance, recoil control, accuracy, and aim walking steadiness. But since this is up close, I would either go with the pack stock, or I would go with the remove stock. Remove stock helps your ADS and your movement speed. It doesn't, and it helps your sprint to fire speed. This doesn't have a whole lot of recoil, so for up close SMG, I go remove stock. Perks are up to you. I'd either go fleet or frenzy, kind of have that built-in quick fix. Fleet for overall movement is what I prefer. I'd rather just outmove. And then either quick for sprint speed or fully loaded, depending on preference. I go with quick. I'll just loot ammo or wait for Ghost to get fully loaded. And then if you're running the 45 caliber mag, you want to go with the guy win short barrel, which does hurt your sprint to fire speed, horizontal recoil control, damage, accuracy, but we've helped all that in other places, and it's up close, so the horizontal recoil is not that big of a deal. If you're running the 45 caliber mag, this is how I would build it. This is one way to build it. If you're going to go with the 7.62, I would probably leave everything the same, and then I would go with the shrouded barrel, which is bugged. It doesn't show up for some reason. Does it in game too. Quick note, don't use the iron sights. Your thumb's going to get in the way. Because these 7.62 have like no recoil, I would stick with either the Mark IV skeletal, but because it helps your ADS, I would probably go to the SMLE pistol grip or the strife angled. Depending on what you're doing, I'd probably go strife angled or hand stop if you just don't like the recoil, but I'd probably go strife angled. So those are the two ways to kind of run it as an up close SMG. Another way to build it is for sniper support, and if you're going to do it as sniper support, I would stick with the 320 millimeter shrouded. It does give you slightly slower time to kill, but this is going to be a sniper support build, so I'd go with the shrouded, because the shrouded helps your recoil control. The short doesn't. And so from there, I would switch back to the 45 round max. It helps with bullet velocity, range, penetration, and damage control. It does hurt your recoil, but we're going to adjust for that. For sniper support, then, I would go to the hand stop, the lengthen to get some bullet velocity, and then I would switch to either the pack stock or the stocks aren't that great, so I'd probably switch to the pack stock to get some horizontal recoil control, ADS speed. Nothing helps with your recoil control otherwise. Everything otherwise hurts it, so I'd go with the pack stock, hand stock, Then from there, if you're going sniper support, I would go polymer grip, which is also bugged. It appears behind the wooden grip for some reason. And then from there, it's kind of the preference of slate reflector. Otherwise, I would go like 2.5. Since it's sniper support, you probably need a little more range, but I would stick with the slate reflector. And this is how I'd build it out for sniper support. Now, because there is one other weapon perk that you can use, once again, for sniper support, I'd probably keep on fleet. Otherwise, maybe go unmarked for concealment or frenzy, but I'd probably stick with fleet. And then once again, either quick fix or fully loaded, depending on what you'd like to use. And this is how I would run it as sniper support. The other option, like I said, because there is one weapon perk, there's Gung Ho. Gung Ho makes this really useful for a Hipfire build. I don't know what the Hipfire spread's like. I didn't really test that. But the Hipfire spread on the Vanguard guns really hasn't been that bad. And if you're going to run Gung Ho, if you're going to run this Hipfire build, I would probably keep on the 45 round mag. Actually, for Hipfire, I would switch to the 7.62 because the time to kills are almost exactly the same. And this gives you a better fire rate and gives you better move speed. And you still get recoil, control, and accuracy. Whereas with the 45 round mag, you lose recoil and control accuracy, movement speed, and fire rate. So for Hipfire, I'd go with the 7.62 48 round mag. Then from there, I would either go Carver foregrip or I would go SMLE pistol grip. I'd probably go the SMLE pistol grip. It does hurt your accuracy a little bit, but it helps your Hipfire accuracy, which is what's important. Even though overall accuracy is hurt a little bit, and it helps your sprint to fire speed. From there, I'd stick with the recoil booster. And then I would probably go with the Guywin short barrel. No, since we're doing 7.62 rounds, we're going to stick with the shrouded barrel. For the shrouded barrel, you get the larger one-hit kill area. Aim down sight speed doesn't really matter. We're helping movement speed in other places, and we're helping sprint to fire speed. So then I would stick there. I would stick with the recoil booster. One note on the sniper support, if you are having trouble with the recoil, I would consider probably the Mercury silencer because it helps with vertical and horizontal recoil, and you lose a little bit of damage range. Sniper is going to make up for your slightly longer range. But back to Hipfire, I would keep everything like this so far. Then I'd switch out the polymer grip for the pine tar grip. I believe is the only one that helps with Hipfire accuracy. Yeah, so then I would either do pine tar or fabric. Probably stick with fabric because it helps the sprint to fire speed as well. Gung Ho, quick. Now this one's a little bit different because you're hip firing. I'd probably go with the 2.5 times because it helps your accuracy. You're not aiming down sight, but if you are, it's not going to slow you down as much as, 3.25, a 4x8, a 3x6. Those are all going to slow you down more. Even though they help with accuracy, you might ADS sometimes. So I would probably do the 2.5x if you're doing Hipfire build because it helps with accuracy, whereas Slate Reflector doesn't. But it doesn't hurt your ADS as much as the other ones that help with accuracy. And then from there, stocks, I would probably go with the S Custom or the folding stock because they help Hipfire accuracy. I'd probably go with the folding. The penalties of the folding are flinch resistance, recoil recovery, and accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. You're not planning on ADSing with the build, so you're going to hip fire. And this is the hip fire build I would run. For the hip fire build, because the TTKs are so similar, you could also switch out the 45 round mag if that's what you're comfortable with, but it hurts your movement speed, which you're not looking to do. And if you do that, you have to go with the 120 round mag, which gives you some of that movement speed back. So this is the other way you could run hip fire. But if I was going to run hip fire, I would probably stick with 7.62 and the 320 shrouded. These other barrels, you could run the Wilkie custom, but it doesn't increase your damage or your fire rate. This helps your larger one-hit area, so it does give you a slightly faster time to kill. Maybe the Wilkie custom is better because of the recoil accuracy. Like I said, I haven't fully tested this, but there is a recoil build within here, so the Wilkie custom could be better for hipfire, and the Hawkinson's just useless because it hurts our headshot damage. And so there is an argument here. If you're going to run the 45 caliber rounds, you can also go the Wilkie custom. So those are all the kind of possible loadouts. I think a definite loadout will shake out here soon. I think Hipfire is a real possibility for this gun, as well as a normal SMG build, and definitely a sniper support. In fact, Raven and Call of Duty listed this as a short to medium range gun, which fits perfect as an aggressive sniper support. So That all being said, if you're still watching this point, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more. Let me know down below what you think of the Welgun. Are you going to take the time to level it up? Do you think it's worth it? Are you going to stick with other SMGs? Are you going to stick with Modern Warfare Cold War guns? Let me know down below. In the description, like I said, I will have my spreadsheet linked below. I will have JGod's video linked below, as well as my social medias like usual, so please feel free to visit all those. And once again, thank you for watching. I will see you on Caldera and Rebirth Island. Get frying. Have a good day. Bye.